Welcome back to the O Hockey Show, and today we are talking about the games of today and their stipulations when it comes to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Right around the corner, the grandest stage of all of hockey and all sports. Let's be honest, folks. I know you're watching this video. You know hockey, greatest sport in the world. Stanley Cup playoffs, greatest event of any sport in the world, just hands down. But today we're looking at the games going on today, this afternoon. 3 days left of the season, ends on Friday. All the games now all have importance, so let's take a look at it. The first one, super important, dealing with the wild card race in the East. That craziness going on, and it could end all today. The Montreal Canadiens versus the New York Islanders this afternoon. The Canadiens, of course, not really in the race, 28th in the NHL. Not very good this year, but the New York Islanders with that race with the Penguins. It was all crazy. I've made so many videos about the wild card race over there. With 5 teams now down to only 2 teams left going in that race between the Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The consecutive streak, the longest in North America, with the Penguins and the Islanders trying to break it right here, and they can do it this game with a win. If the Isles win, they win. That's it. They straight up, they clinch the playoffs, and it's their last game of the season. They're ahead by 1 point of the Penguins. So if they win tonight, they'll get 2 points. The Penguins won't be able to catch them. If they lose, though, the Penguins would need to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets the most consistently. They lost to Chicago yesterday, but I just don't think the Penguins would make that same mistake twice, especially with Crosby, all those guys knowing what's on the line. I know the Blue Jackets are going to look to spoil it, but those guys, I think, are going to literally put everything of their heart and soul to get that win. So I know it's a must win. We know that already, but we know the Penguins are going to win that game. It's not just a terrible team, but also what's on the line. These guys is like careers, right? So they need to win this game. The Islanders need to win this game. Montreal, though, they have a stipulation in this sort of too. They should lose. If you're a Canadiens fan, you should want them to lose this game. I mean, we know it's this far into the season. I get it. My heart belongs to the Sharks, right? I want them to lose games, but during the season, I want them to win a few, right? But at this point in the season, I want them to lose everything on here on out. And the Canadiens against the Islanders, I guess if you're a Pittsburgh fan, maybe you'd rather like the Canadiens to win. I don't know, however you want to view it, but if you're a Canadiens fan, you want them to lose, because right now they're in 5th to last with being 28th in the NHL. So they're 1 point behind the Arizona Coyotes. So if they win tonight, or if they win in overtime or whatever, they will go ahead of them. They'll be 6 points behind. 6th from last. So you want a better draft spot at this point in the game. They got 2 games left. So they just need to lose those 2 last games. Hope some of the guys below them win a few, like the Sharks I'll talk about in a second. So, Canadiens fans, this game really should be all Islanders, like everyone, if you want the Islanders to, I don't know how you want to word it, but yeah, basically the best thing for both teams would be the Islanders to win. It helps the Canadiens in their pursuit to not get Connor Bedard, but to get a better draft pick, and the Islanders clinch the playoffs. So, really, the Canadiens are just trying to help out their homegrown kid of Sidney Crosby. But anyways, moving on to the next matchup. The Dallas Stars versus the St. Louis Blues. Now, Dallas second in the Central Division, so they are in the race for first in the Central. Minnesota was in that race, but they're with too few games left. They can't catch up, so they will finish third in the Central. So Dallas is trying to play, not play against the Avalanche. They've already done that. They've already solidified they won't play the Avs, which is fantastic for them. But they would not like to play the Minnesota Wild. Pretty sure they don't have a very good track record against them this year, and you'd rather play the wild card spot as well, just as a given. So they're 1 point behind the Colorado Avalanche right now. So Dallas needs to win this game to play against the Winnipeg Jets in the first round, who I think they'd have a much better chance of beating other than the Minnesota Wild. But who knows? Maybe Minnesota. Never gotten past the first round. They were abysmal last year against the St. Louis Blues, who they're playing today. So who knows? Maybe they would rather play the Wild, but they've looked so hot lately, you wouldn't want that. So they're looking for that first spot in the Central Division. And with only 2 games left, they can do it. They definitely can pull it off. Colorado, though, also 2 games left, can easily pull it off, too. So the thing, though, is that if somehow, let's say Dallas wins the next 2 and the Avalanche win 1 and lose 1 in overtime, if they end up tying, Colorado does have the better regulation wins category, and the Colorado Avalanche would not be able to catch them in that pursuit there. So the Dallas Stars have the tiebreaker advantage above the Avalanche there. So they have that going for them. St. Louis, on the other hand, this game, once again, kind of like a Canadian situation, you want to lose these games. They currently 22nd in the NHL. They have 81 points. They're 2 points away from 25th, which is the Washington Capitals. So if they lose these 2 games and some fortunate things happen where certain teams wins and whatnot, they could end up dropping down from being 22nd, which is 10th pick in the NHL. They could get down to the 8th pick in the draft, which would be, I think, a lot more helpful, especially when you get to when you get to the second round and stuff, you kind of are pick and choosing whatever. But in the top 10, if you can move up 3 picks, even better. They could even get better odds as well of maybe getting to get the first overall pick. Unlikely, but it's possible. So moving on to our last matchup of the day, the San Jose Sharks versus the Calgary Flames. Now the Sharks at this point just want to lose games, and they need to lose games. 29th in the NHL, and Erik Karlsson's not helping that. 100 points, the guy's a freaking saint at this point, the super Swede. But 60 points is what they have. 2 teams below them, Anaheim and Chicago with 58 points, and then last of the league, of course, Columbus with 57 points. So if some of those teams win a game, if one of them wins a game, right, I'm pretty sure the Sharks have the less of the regulation wins. They could go down to a 3rd round pick. Top 3 pick, which would be huge for them. 4th is not bad pick at all, but if they could get into that top 3, maybe end up with a Fantilli, even better. And just liking their odds to maybe even pull the first overall pick. Just saying. That's out there. So for me personally, I would love if they could get that for them, because like I said, heart belongs to the Sharks. I like all the teams in the NHL, but my heart contains to them. So their childhood team, that's all. So they're looking to get that top 3 pick. The Calgary Flames, this is their last game of the season. 17th in the NHL. They've already been eliminated from playoff contention. They won't make it in. So they're really just playing to just finish out the season strong, look good. It's going to be kind of hard with that lack of motivation probably to win. However, it is at home in the Saddle Dome, and if I was there, I would want to put on one last great show to finish off the season strong, pad my stats. I'm sure they will, but the motivation's got to be lacking there to try to win, because they're playing for nothing, and they were this close to making it in, but they just couldn't pull it off. So Calgary just looking to finish strong, and they're unlikely to drop much either, as this is their last game of the season. I think looking at the numbers, certain teams could maybe pull ahead of them, but they might only be able to drop down 2 spots maybe for the draft, so wouldn't be that helpful for them to lose either, so they might as well just finish the season strong and maybe end up getting one less spot or something like that. So Flames got a lack of motivation. It's got to suck for them to play this game against a bad team as well, and try not to get embarrassed to finish off the season. The Sharks, same story here. They should be looking to lose. I know the players play to win, but the team should be just like, hey, let's just cool it off. Let's try to get Connor Bedard, and let's make our careers even better in the future. So that is all I have to say for these games. I guess I will do a little bit of a predictions. I do think the Islanders will win. I think I have a memory of them having a good record against the Canadians. His certain teams are just foils to other teams, and I think the Islanders are a foil to the Canadians. So I think the Islanders are going to pull off the clinch and win tonight. I think Dallas is going to win. I'm pretty sure, once again, their record this season against the Blues is pretty good. So I think they've got them there. And then I think the Sharks are going to do the stupid thing, and Calgary's going to look stupid, and the Sharks are going to pull out a win. Not because I'm a fan of them, but because that's just how things go. They've just ruined their own adventure. So that is all I have to say. Thank you for watching this. Please, I'm begging you to pick up your free subscription down below. And until next time, I have been your best friend's host, Owen. Too sweet. Have an amazing day. And ta-ta for now.